Over the last 2 years, I've competed in 4 game jams, documented my journey across 30 videos, and spent hundreds of hours in Aseprite. Why? Because for the last 26 months, I've been building my very first large-scale game, Back on Your Feet. Today, I'm showing you the full journey from having zero experience to gearing up for my first launch on Steam. In my opinion, competing in game jams is the best way to learn new dev skills quickly. It forces you to build a full game in such a tight window that you have no choice but to work your ass off. I've built 4 of them so far. The first was a 72-hour pixel art infinite runner where you dodge fireballs, collect coins and power-ups, and buy upgrades in a fully working shop. The second was a weird horror game and my first time making a 3D game or using Blender. You had to navigate Fruit Loop Island and collect golden Fruit Loops while running from a terrifying bird. The third was a 24-hour sprint, a simple pixel art game where you just play as a seahorse trying to keep 3 kids safe from ocean obstacles. But the last one is definitely my favorite. It's called Kids These Days. I mix 3D environments with 2D sprites for an extremely silly, colorful game where a fat kid on a pink bike rides around town eating power-ups and dodging chaos. It really clicked and I actually took 2nd place out of 400 entries in this jam. Actually, you know what? Fuck all that. While all of this is grand work, I think my progress on the game Back on Your Feet really speaks for how far I've come as a game developer in the last 2 years. I started the game at the end of my senior year in high school while taking an introductory programming class. At this point, the game consisted of shitty dialogue and the player walking around between art assets. Now the game is almost complete, with a full story of redemption, twists and turns, cruel enemies, iconic friends and mentors, decisions for the player to make alongside a completely custom boxing combat system that uses punch combos and abilities much like the actual sport. The combat on the player side consists of navigating the ring, correctly timing your dodge, managing your stamina, and using the correct sequence of punches in order to land combos. New combos are unlocked as you progress through the game, and before the final 2 bosses you are able to pick and choose from all of the available combos to ensure you have 3 equipped that you feel are best for how you like to fight. Obviously, a game's combat is only as good as the enemies you encounter, and I have spent so much time making sure Back on Your Feet's enemies are the pinnacle of difficult and unique. The premise is that you are fighting in a national boxing tournament, and each opponent you face is more dangerous and poses new challenges that test the player's skills. From quick enemies that maintain distance from the player and swoop in for fast, ferocious attacks, to bulkier enemies that threaten murdering the player in cold blood if they get their hands on them, each opponent is full of surprises. And the final boss, well, let's just say the final boss is something that I've spent the last couple of weeks working on, and he is alluded to throughout the entire game and said to have a large presence in your character Ken's past. When you see Balthazar Frazier for the first time, there will be nothing short of shit in your pants from not just the fear but the holy shit expression written across your face when you realize what the final fight will entail. Obviously, I can't show what this guy looks like or that will ruin the surprise. Now, aside from the game's impeccable, unforgiving combat, Back on Your Feet is built on a completely original story, as I previously mentioned. In this story, you will have tons of opportunities to make decisions which often dictate how your story will go at that point in the game. Additionally, some choices will lead to different boss fights, and there are multiple endings in the game. So yes, your choices do matter. Take a look here at this scene in the Calm Cafe, where I am presented with the choice between a donut, sandwich, and waffle. Whatever I choose, that animation is played, so yes, this game does have inconceivably brilliant game design. While I am being somewhat sarcastic right now, let's change focus and take a deeper look at what the game's story actually entails. While this is a retro-style pixel art game that contains no gore or gruesome graphics, some of the issues discussed in the game are nothing short of grim. The harsh themes present consist of, but are not limited to, death, animal cruelty, loneliness, alcoholism, abuse, falsification, scandals, and gang violence. If you have experienced trauma with any of these, all I ask is you play my game and then let me know if I nailed the feeling or not, because I really want to know if I got it down. While there are tons of darker themes, the game mainly focuses on the resilience against them, and the idea that no matter what happens in life, you can return to a place even better than your former glory, hence the name Back on Your Feet. I will soon be releasing an official trailer for the game that will contain the game's release date, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe. If you don't want to miss the game's release, make sure to go wishlist it on Steam. Additionally, if you want any more information on Back on Your Feet or the other games I've made, there are multiple videos on my channel that go into more detail about them. I have no doubt that Back on Your Feet will not be perfect, but I truly believe it'll be pretty damn good for what a first-time solo developer has made. Anyway, thanks so much for watching.